So today we celebrate the progress we've made as a city and how we respond to domestic violence. Since 2010, Mayor Landrieu and the leadership at the NOPD have pushed forward a cultural shift at the department on handling domestic violence and sexual assault crimes. We've worked to put systems in place to clear our sexual assault kit backlog for good, implemented integrated domestic violence protocol with the Family Justice Center and the District Attorney's Office, and conducted thousands of hours of training on this very issue. As you know, we're in our third year of a 5-year federal consent decree. That document outlines specific policy training and techniques to prevent gender bias in policing, and we are actively working to implement these measures. But 1 year ago, we took it a step further with the Blueprint for Safety initiative. This unified approach put together national best practices for how we should respond to domestic violence incidents from the moment we receive a 911 call for help all the way to probation and parole. From the moment a domestic violence call comes in, our complaint operators are now trained to follow a set of steps. These steps increase our ability to assess for risk and allow operators to check to see if there have been previous calls involving the same parties or addresses. To improve engagement with victims, the call takers are now trained to help keep callers on the line to increase safety and reinforce callers that 911 is available when they need it, regardless of how many times they've called in the past. For the responding officer, the Blueprint provides the necessary tools to investigate a domestic violence incident. We've created measures of accountability to ensure complete and accurate reports of supervisory accountability. Officers attach the police report checklist to every single report. The checklist is a one-page summary of the domestic violence policy that ensures officers conduct thorough investigations. And one of our most significant accomplishments in this first year is changing our electronic report system to automatically generate the 4 risk assessment questions officers ask in every domestic violence incident involving allegations of crime committed against a person or property. For example, do you think he or she will seriously injure or kill you or your children? What makes you think so? What makes you think not? It's just an example. The answers to the 4 risk assessment questions in the narrative and gist of the police report provide prosecutors and judges with detailed information on the history of violence, enhancing their ability to assess for risk and danger and make determinations on whether or not to release a defendant for pretrial. These questions and their answers are providing our criminal justice system with a great deal more information on the history of violence and the level of risk than ever before. These interactions are also captured on our brand new body-worn cameras, which help to convey the seriousness of the situations when the case heads to court. And finally, we've improved on the victim experience of the criminal justice response. We assess for self-defense in the first predominant aggressor determination, and we allow discretion to not arrest the victim for battery who commits a misdemeanor but does not impose a risk of impending danger. We've already completed comprehensive training across the board of the Blueprint, and more is on the way. All of our officers have completed a specially designed webinar that outlines the new policy. To drill down on the new policy, this year we added 4 hours of domestic violence training to the annual in-service required for every single police officer. We also brought outside experts from the Attorney General's office and the Tulane Domestic Violence Clinic to provide training to all new police recruits as part of the curriculum for brand new police officers. Moving forward, we're developing even more specialized training to our domestic violence detectives and select officers who will continue to enhance an in-service training provided to all officers. We've accomplished a lot, but there's much more work to be done, and I'm committed to seeing it through to the end. That's why I, along with the leadership from the 911 Center and Special Victims Section, personally attended the Mayor's Domestic Violence Working Group meetings on a quarterly basis for oversight and implementation, coordination among agencies, problem solving, and data analysis. We will always continue to work with all of our public and private partners to ensure these reforms stick and that we are providing the absolute best possible response for all victims of domestic violence. So thank you for all the work that you've done. Thank you for having me to be here with you today.